What's the important message to take away from the Bible? Anyway.
An important message?
Yeah. What can you take away from the Bible?
I don't know, brother.
Love thy neighbor. That's really, again, we're going back to what I was trying to say. Basically, find out, pull out what you think is, what you connect with, what speaks to you and everything like that, and then live your truth by what you read, what you feel for. I don't think it's possible for anybody and everybody to live by these rules that all of these different religions set. I think you should just do what you think is best for your life,
right,
and go about it that way. And I don't think the Bible contradicts it. I think the Bible encourages that, because at the end of the day, you're just the message is just to be a good person. So it's like,
I disagree with that. I would, only because if we were to go through that logic of like, hey, everybody just go through the Bible and pick what really resonates with you and go with that, that's where we get the situation in which people begin to manipulate the word, right? Okay. That's where you get erratic evangelical Christians that use it as a form of being racist, or you could take down this little verse that just applies to you, and then you could use that to manipulate that. So you have to take the totality of the Bible page to page.
Do you think that's possible though?
I do, because the Bible, people think it's a rule book. It's not a rule book.
Right.
The point of the Bible, the main message of the Bible, is that we live in a fallen world where sin abounds, where we as human beings are a slave to things and worship things that we choose to because we think that these things are God.
Right.
But out of the abundance of God's love, he sent down Jesus to take on the cross our sins so that we can have relationship with him, so that we can have forgiveness. And then through Christ, we can receive everlasting life, but also peace and joy on physical earth.
Right.
So it's like the main point of the Bible is like, guess what? All these rules, you can't do them. Mm-hmm. You need a God. The point of the rules that were set in the Bible, that were given in the Old Testament, were to show us how much as human beings we fail.
Right.
And because we fail, we need a God. We need a Savior. And so that was the whole point, because we all fall short of the glory. I'm not saying I'm a good person because I'm a Christian. I fall short every day. On my drive here, I missed a turn and I got angry. Like, I fall short. I'm not a perfect person.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, the Bible isn't set to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. The Bible's there to tell you this is God, and he loves you so much that if you just begin to seek him in your heart and you open up your heart to him, you will begin to see him in your life. And because you see him in your life, you're going to want to do certain things. See, God gives us free will.
Right.
You have free will to do whatever you want. That's why we have bad things that happen to this in this world. That's why I could pick up and flip this mic if I wanted to, right? Like, I won't. But we have the free will to do that.
Right.
So God wants to give us the free will to also love him. We choose to love him.
Yeah.
He's not forcing that on us.
So let me just say one thing, because I'm really hearing what you're saying, and I very much agree with just your overall message. But at the same time, it becomes a question about, what about other religions then? Because you're sitting right next to you, Hanan. She's
just about to get into that. Yeah,
she's.
What religion do you follow?
So shy.
What religion do you follow?
I mean, I follow the religion of Islam. So.
Right. So she's Islam, and obviously is the people of Islam. They do believe that Jesus exists and everything like that. But the codes that are in what's the name of it? The Quran.
Mm-hmm.
So are a lot different than compared to Christianity. So for somebody like her, what would you
recommend?
Yeah, recommend basically.
Well, what am I recommending? What am I recommending?
For her, since she's living, whether or not she's living, but the code that the rule set that they follow,
she aligns with the Quran and Islam.
Yeah, compared to Christianity, there's different things going on.
Yeah.
So how does that mesh together? In regards to the message that you were just portraying,
Well, we can coexist.
Right.
I'm sitting right next to her.
Yeah.
We laughed together. We had a great time.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we serve different gods.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, we serve different words of gods. And so all I can do as a Christian is love on her, is tell her who Jesus is, what he did in my life, and that's it.
Right.
And if she wants to pursue that and be like, okay, who is Jesus more than a prophet? Because in Islam, he is just a prophet.
Right.
If she has follow-up questions and wants to say, is he God or all this other form? That's something, but I know that that's something that's not looked up, that's not good in your religion.
Yeah.
So, but that's on her. I know many Muslims that came out of Islam once they started to seek Christ and turn to Christianity, but it's all I have is love for her.
Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. I mean, I definitely feel with that. Like I said, I really do appreciate your message and everything like that. It definitely speaks volumes. It's just, like I said, it's just me trying to wrap my head around all the different religions that are trying to connect underneath this one
umbrella.
Yeah, this one umbrella.
Because at the end of the day, it's like
somebody's wrong.
How you know you picked the right religion?
Yeah,
Right.
Nobody
you don't.
knows.
And I don't want to particularly say somebody's wrong. I don't want to say that. I just want to say that there's just different things that people live by, and not all of them. Some of them contradicts each other.
No,
so, yeah.
It's okay to say that one of us is right, one of us is wrong. That's it. Like that's the reality of it. When everything comes to an end, somebody's right and somebody's wrong.
So I'm saying, so what's like the end game?
The end game is I'm choosing that I believe I'm right, so I'm gonna continue to live my life in the way that Christ is calling me to live, and that's it.
And that's how I look at it.
Would it be?
We don't know what's right, what's wrong. Correct.
Right.
We don't know what religion we pick. We don't know the end game.
Right.
When we pass, then we know the end game. But we're gone. We can't tell nobody else. Like,
well, yeah, I was right. You owe me $20. Well, maybe $100 because we here already. So.
Exactly.
Would it
So
be
you're
easier
over.
to live a life of non-religion or live a life of religion?
Nah, you can't really live a life of non-religion because we got here some way somehow.
Right.
Like I said,
If
we're
I'm
not
wrong, I have a lot less to lose than if I'm, if I'm wrong and like Jesus doesn't exist and whatever, we're all coexisting in this like universal heaven. I didn't lose anything. But if I'm right, everybody else has a lot more to lose. Does that make sense?
This is what I tell people. I said, you don't have to. I had atheist friends, and I tell them, I mean, you have your own beliefs and whatever it is. I don't judge nobody, but how can the Bible be wrong? Everything that is happening in this earth right now, including the migrants, that's another topic for another time. It was in the Bible. So it's like, how can you really argue with something that is really coming up in the truth in our face every single day? How can you really argue with that? You know what I mean?
That's what I wanted actually to say, because mentioning about how everything happened in the Bible is happening right now. I wanted to mention that, like, we don't really have different beliefs, to be honest. Like, it's all the same concept, and everything that has happened in the Bible has happened, but those same ideas has happened in the Quran as well. And it's happening. So that's why people like Muslims are like, yeah, this is our word, this is the truth, the Islam is the truth, because why is everything in the Quran happening in real life right now? You know what I'm saying? So probably a lot of Christianities and Catholics and stuff, they probably thought the same thing, because it's like, everything that's happening in the Bible is happening right now, so it must be real.
But as of what though? What's going on right now? That's going on.
Well,
like wars.
I would say
Wars
it's a little
been
controversial.
since.
History
I
tends
would
to
say
repeat itself.
one of the things-
COVID, the migrants, the way they set up the president.
COVID? What do you mean COVID?
COVID is one of the things. Like, for example, in the Bible, diseases
Pandemic.
pandemics and stuff.
Yeah, but we had a bunch of diseases before the COVID.
But Revelations is a little different, only because this is the beginning to the end.
It's the same thing when I read Revelations when I was in Catholic school. They said Y2K is going to be the end of the world. And nothing happened.
Hold on.
They said it's about 2012.
Yeah, but
we had that fire movie.
But wait a minute, hold on. Okay.
For real,
So
fire movies.
with stuff like Y2K, 2012, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of that. Y2K was more of a fear based off of the advancements of technology.
Yeah.
Technology was still back then. The 90s. Technology was still a new concept to people. Computers were still a new concept to people. So the idea that computers were going to be able to figure out a date that I guess that nobody, took account for was just blowing everybody's mind. It was kind of like a fear factor, kind of thing, a mass. It was kind of like propaganda. That's really why it was spread, because, if it really takes 2 seconds to figure out, if you look at your phone, right, if you reset your clock, basically, when you reset your clock, what is it going to say? It's gonna basically start over, and that's exactly what happened in regards to all the the tech stuff back during that day. In regards to 2012 was not a religious thing. It was a culture thing. It was by the Mayans. This is something that they personally believed in based off of their own culture.
Calendar.
This own calendar. This wasn't anything that had any leverage outside of.
I ain't seen nothing about 2012. Bro.
Oh,
yeah,
I heard it. Yeah, I heard it, and I just want to make that.
I know in the Revelation I was reading, there were like two demons were supposed to come out the water, and this, that, and the third. This is during the Y2K time, and everybody in class was talking about. I started to believe the shit. I'm like, damn, 2000 coming, I'm gonna die.
But that's where false prophets come from. They talk about stuff nobody knows when the world's gonna end. Nobody.
I know, but I was reading that in the Bible.
No.
Yeah, no, it's in so the point of Revelation is the only prophecy that is to come. So the point of Revelation is to give us the signs of what's going to happen before, like, the Antichrist comes and then Christ is supposed to return. But like you said, nobody knows when that's going to happen. So false prophets do rise up and say, hey, don't you notice that this, and this is happening? So that means that Christ should be coming back next year. But God stands outside of time. So it could be 1 year, 2 years, 20 years. It could be 200 years from now. We could be living in the end times. But our management of time is separate from God's management of time. Like, human time and God's time is like
the crazy part about it is that you see how you talk like that. I use a lot of humor to get through life.
I love it.
So I'll be like, God, if you're gonna end this, at least let me get married with a good dude that wasn't in jail for 20 years. Let me at least have 3 kids. Let me at least know what it is to live out of the projects. At least that before you take me. Yeah, that's how I look at it. Like, damn, let me live life.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
What's your take on how do you?
Can I ask a question?
Actually, I got a question.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna come back.
Supervisor coming through. Supervisor tonight.
Go for it.
Do you guys feel like there's too many pastors and priests just spreading the word?
Yes.
But we don't know what's right, what's wrong.
Yes.
Well, that's why it's important for you to read the word. If you're able to read the word.
So why? All right, go ahead.
Okay, if you're able to read the word, you're able to discern if what you're being told is right or wrong. But the Bible also, in the book of Acts, which is when the early church started, you begin to see how the order is okay. Like, God is a God of order. It's okay for there to be a pastor that leads people as long as that pastor is properly submitted to Christ, and that there's a level of accountability that's supposed to exist around that pastor, and all of that is in the Bible. And so if you were to know and understand, okay, this is what the church is supposed to look like, this is what it's supposed to sound like, this is what it's supposed to do, and you knew that, when you walked into a church that wasn't doing that, you would know this is not the church for me.
But nowadays you really don't know. It's tough.
People pretend well.
You could go on and blame everybody else, but I'm not blaming you. I'm saying people's mentality is that, well, the church is fallen, the church is this. But it's like, until you read the word and you embody the word and you know the word, then you would be able to discern that. People that are lazy believers, I'm not calling you a lazy believer, just people in general that are lazy believers are the ones who enable churches like this, because they don't get into the word themselves. So they're going to allow themselves to be led astray because they don't read and pick up the word. If people were to pick up the word, they would know. If believers were actually in the meat of it, then these these pastors would not be rising
Then
up.
Joel Osteen is doing a
Would
great job.
No.
He's doing a great job.
He's a
If he's
to me a
if he's
motivational
led-
speaker.
Who is he?
Joel Osteen.
Yeah, he's a pastor. But this is the problem with him.
Pastor is kind of like a.
But this is the problem with him, right?
Motivational speaker.
This is the problem with him. For me,
Yeah.
I feels like it's a cash grab. Because remember what I was saying about the pamphlet,
Yeah.
you give a percentage of
Yeah.
what you make. He has the old stadium of the Houston Rockets that holds at least 20 to 25,000 people. Now you get everybody to pay $100.
They have 100?
Yeah,
Imagine.
I need
He has
something.
one of the largest congregations in the country.
Okay.
He does.
Imagine-
He has a mega church.
Imagine every person. Imagine 25,000 people come in.
Of course. Oh yeah.
Everybody gives $100.
I paid all my student loans off.
You know how much money he's making off of one Sunday?
Do they have to give 100 or is it like
No, but they give what they want to give.
Okay.
You know, church people are generous.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of priests, pastors, whatever, they're using that. They're manipulating people.
Oh.
They're using it. They take all the bread and they do what? Like, why'd you need a helicopter? Why'd you need a jet?
So what's wrong with people?
You could fly regular. You could fly regular to go give the message, a message to whatever country or whatever people that needs it. You don't need all the high fashion, all that shit. Like you don't.
Right.
Okay.
Like me, like my bad.
No,
but I grew up old school with my parents. My mom goes to church because of my grandmother. My grandmother went to church because of her mom. That's
But
how
that's
I
where
grew up.
false prophets come from. That.
What?
And we need to false prophets. It could be a false prophet, somebody that pretends that they're for the good and for God.
Yeah, but
they
you know
come
what I
out.
mean?
You're not,
But
you're
he's not the only one. Creflo, they got Creflo Dollar.
Yeah, no, but there's a lot of them. But you're right. There's
It's
a lot
crazy.
of people like that, and that's what God's trying to teach us to
watch
be
out
to not follow people like that. People, it's not about this.
No, I'm not saying it's
you're
about
right.
that, but I'm just saying those guys are manipulating.
Yeah, but
everybody.
that's what I'm saying. You
And that's
are
the
just
issue.
basically supporting what I'm saying. It's like false prophets, and you saying it right on the point. People like that is what we need to watch out for.
Is he Christian or no?
Who?
The guy you're talking about.
He identifies as a Christian pastor.
So.
But his message, a little wonky.
It's
Little wonky.
The thing about these, and there was I forgot the pastor's name. The dude here out in Brooklyn who was
I know
wearing
you're talking
The
about.
chain, I remember with the glasses.
got robbed
Yeah,
for it,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
he was got
Showing
jailed
his
for
house
tax
and-
fraud and everything like that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, he's
the thing, so I hear that again. I'm not a religious person at all. I'm right with God. I'm right with my spirits, and that's like my extent.
Right.
With religion and everything. But as an outsider looking in,
It looks crazy.
I do see people like such as yourself who really kind of mix up they really just build a misconception based off of just the outliers, the people who are doing it wrong. There's pastors in 2024, in this current age, this modern age. Money is like put on everything. Everything is very transactional. Everything has a monetary value, and it's just the state of the world we live in. It's so of course, and in every profession, you're gonna get those type of bad eggs that kind of mess up the message a little bit because of they get too involved with the money. But I don't think that you should judge the religion, the message, this, that, and the third
I'm not
off
judging.
of. But you were just talking about.
No, I'm just saying this is what's going on. That's why I can mislead other people, not me.
Yeah.
I can see through all that.
Right.
I'm not stupid. Like I know what's
Like
going on.
you.
Like me, when I go to Catholic church,
Yeah.
I give what I can.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people in the church. To pray, you don't have to go to a church. You can pray at home. I don't
Right.
have to go to the church. I can pray in my house. And
But
be
do you
all right.
think these
But-
pastors affect?
No, they're not affecting me.
No,
No, but I'm
affect
just
like
saying.
the religion in general. Do you think that?
Those people, they're affecting it for a lot of people. Not for me.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. But other people outside looking in, for other people that want to get into religion, imagine a person that doesn't know too much about God. They go to Joel Osteen's church. It's a wrap. That's it. They're gone.
But do you hear stories like that like happening in the Islamic in the mosques? stuff like
You don't
that?
hear stories like that.
Why is that? Why?
Why?
No, you don't hear stories like that, to be honest.
Mm.
I don't know. I think maybe we hide it. They hide it more. Maybe
Okay.
that could be it.
But you guys give
know,
tithes in
What do you mean?
Like,
like you guys
money.
are people
How does
giving
house
money?
giving?
With that basket coming
Giving?
around.
Yeah, we have something called man, I hope I don't get it wrong. It's called zakats. That's what
Okay.
it's called. Yes, it's called zakats.
Okay.
Ramadan is coming up, so that
Soon.
everybody who has money,
Right.
they have to give to charity.
Have to?
Yes,
Okay.
if they have money.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
Last year I was able to do it. You know,
Right.
I started working in a decent job or whatever, so I was able. I was like, you know what? I'll give zakat during Ramadan.
Right.
But all year round, pretty much, you have to give to charity. Of course, when you have money, and all sheikhs. We call them sheikhs. That's a word for kind of like priests. They have to give. They all have money. There's no doubt, right? So they all pretty much do that. But you never know. You never know because it's people are slimy in all shapes and
That's what I
sizes.
mean.
People are, you never know, but also you look at them and then you feel a connection to them. So you're like, yo, maybe we should give out this money to this charity that they're talking about.
Yeah.
But
Is there a percentage you're supposed to give?
no. You give
just
whatever
give
you
what you
can.
can.
You give whatever you can.
I'm broke.
I just don't think people should because it's very, very rampant nowadays where people look at Christianity or any type of religion negatively because of the fact that you have these figureheads that are just they don't have they don't look like the kind of people, they don't come off as the type of people that should be spreading the word and everything like that. But as she said, it really comes down to just
what you believe in.
Like going out and learning the teachings, the word yourself, because then you don't even have to worry about be concerned about, because at the end of the day these guys don't really affect yours, what you got going on with your relationship with. They're just trying to set you on the right path or whatever.
Yeah, I remember my friend. I went to a church. I went to Christian. No, actually, I was gonna go to a Christian church with him, and he asked me. He's like, "Yo, what are you?" I'm like, "What?" I'm Catholic. He's like, "Yo, you picked the wrong religion." I said, "Yo, I didn't pick it. That's how I grew up. You can't tell me what to pick.
No, that's crazy.
I'm 19.
That's crazy.
You can't tell me what to pick. There's no way. The reason I went to church because of my parents. Same thing with my parents. The reason they went because their parents, and it goes, trickles down.
And it's crazy that you say that because I could relate to that so much. Only because I grew up in Pentecostal. I mean, I was Christian, but then my dad turned into Pentecostal, where they're way more stricter. You can't even do your eyebrows. I can't be looking bushy out here in the hood.
But that's what I'm saying. That's so weird. Like little weird stuff like that. Is
no,
weird
but mind you, with me, it was more like I was 18 years old. I'm in this group. I'm the oldest in the group of, those when they do the little classes on the side, when they do the preachings, and you with the girls with the boys and stuff. I was one of the oldest. Like Bible study. So my dad was telling me, why you don't be like those girls? Wear skirts and do this and do that and do this and that. I said, Dad, and mind you, I'm 18 telling him this. I said, Dad, those are not the ones that you should be looking up to. And mind you, God knows what He has for me. I shouldn't have to wear a skirt to prove I'm holy in front of Him. Because those same girls with the skirts are the same girls spreading their legs. So 5 years later, I come to find out, one of those girls in the study group that he wanted me to be so much like was robbing, setting up guys in the streets, robbing guys in the hood, and everything. And you know what I mean? It just goes to show, your purpose with God is individual. This rules and regulations, all this stuff, that has nothing to do with nobody. Whatever God has working for you, it's probably not going to work for me. Do what you need to do. God has His own plan. That's why He say, come to me on your own, because salvation is one. It's individual. You know what I mean? So it's so deep. So I agree with what you're saying. It's a lot of stupidity that comes inside religion that makes you question, why am I even doing this? These people are worse than the people on the outside.
Yeah, facts.
So what is
same thing.
So I know exactly how you feel, because I was one of those. I'd be like, but I just look at it in life I'm known to the Christian world. I'm known as a lukewarm, and that's the worst place you want to be when you're in front of God. The one that is, I believe in God, I want to do things, but then I live my regular life outside. But it's I tell God,
But it shouldn't
I'm only 27, bro.
It shouldn't be. You shouldn't be in that position because for me,
but I don't want to be lukewarm. In the Bible, lukewarm people get spit out. And I don't even know how to spit on the floor properly. That's not a good look for me.
But if you follow God, you drink, you chill, you're not over there doing stupid shit, killing people.
Set people up. I would never. My heart. I don't